second grade at Poudre Elementary. And just thank you guys for being here tonight and showing support. Ask and listen. These are seemingly simple words, but when done in a meaningful and purposeful way, can have a huge impact. When I think about student experience, a slew of definitions come to mind. In this guild, we were all asked to come up with our own definitions. Even though that we were all given the same 2 words, we all had different definitions. Some were about the classroom and the hallways and the way students feel in them. Others were about students' perspective and perceptions and how those things play a role in the classroom. Others were about students knowing themselves and how their out-of-school experiences affect their in-school experiences and their learning, good or bad. One guilder said, how the humanness of students shows up at school. As you can tell by the variety of answers, there isn't really one definition because student experience encompasses so many things. However, in reflecting on this course, I believe that our students are the ones that can help us define and understand what student experience is. We just have to ask and be ready to listen and hear them. What was the last thing you asked your students? In thinking about my day, I think the last 2 questions I asked were, what is Seven's friendly partner and whose jacket is this? But I asked that question 3 times, so I guess that's 4 questions. My point is, have you asked your students about their own learning? What affects it positively and negatively, and what they think about school? Sometimes it's hard to think about our students as kids. We get lost in moving them to the next part of the rubric or making sure they can show mastery in XYZ standard. We so easily forget that while we are pouring information into their little brains, they are thinking, oftentimes, about other things than what we're teaching. Shocker, right? We all know who our kids are, that are ready for the challenge, that are always with us, sharp pencil in hand. We know that their students' experience is probably a great one because they're engaged and seemingly ready to learn. We also know that our students that are easily distracted, the ones that are playing their own movies in their head, occasionally letting out a pew pew sound effect or 2. Even still, we know the students who have hard home lives, the ones we keep hairbrushes at our schools for, the ones that we stuff extra snacks in their backpacks while the rest of the kids are at specials. We just know it takes a lot for these students to be ready to learn, let alone to want to learn. As teachers, we have a great understanding about what our kids need and want. We're familiar with Maslow's hierarchy of needs, and we know statistics and can interpret data like no one else. But have you asked them? Have you given the power to your students, no matter their circumstance? Have you asked them what they think their student experience is? After you ask, you have to be ready to listen. Cornelius Minor says that listening is a teacher's superpower. To have someone listen to you and not add in their stories or comments, thoughts, or bits of advice is rare, and it's what our students need. Listening needs no response, which is hard for us because we as teachers are fixers. We make thousands of decisions in a day to fix issues or make circumstances better. But when we listen to our children, we're not always called to have input on their lives. This isn't the kind of listening that happens when your student follows you around and proceeds to tell you an unsolicited 35-minute story about his mom's cousin's daughter's uncle's cat and how it had a baby at his house this weekend. You know that kind of story. It's the kind where you say, and nod your head while you run around, check folders, sort papers, and submit attendance late, I might add. We have all been there, but this is not the kind of listening that I'm talking about. This is the kind of listening where you ask and they respond, and you don't give advice, brush them off, or try to make their situations better. It's the kind where your students tell you, I had a hard morning. My parents are getting a divorce. I don't want to go home today. I feel stupid and want to quit. Listening can be equitable. It gives us the opportunity to help remove barriers, to create opportunities, and build relationships with and for our students. It is also empowering. When we listen, we get to hear our students' fears, their challenges, their dreams, and hurts. It probably will not fit into a perfect sentence frame, but it is there, raw, molding and shaping each student differently. We also have to remember that this isn't always what we want to hear. When we ask and listen, we tell students that they matter, that what they have to say is valuable. and that they can make changes and advocate for themselves. We show them that while we as teachers do play a role in their student experience, we are not the owners. They are. That is the kind of power I want my students to leave my classroom door with every day. So, what is student experience? I can't define it, even after a year-long course in it, but your students can. Ask and listen.